The strangest thing you've ever seen in someone else's home?
Oh, wow.
I say to the woman with the dog cushion in the background. So we were introduced by a mutual friend, if you remember, way back when I first arrived. Andy, yes. I was like, Andy, you can't introduce me to Deb Cupp. It's Deb Cupp. You need to chill. We need an entry-level introduction, and then I'll work my way up. But you wrote back right away, which I thought was really cool, given, you do run an enormous business for Microsoft. So that was going to be my first question for you, actually, because I've since heard a number of people say of you that, like, I'm waiting to see the bad side. Under stress, I feel like we all lash out or do things that might be inconsistent with our values. And senior leaders are always under extreme stress. And so that happens a lot, but seemingly not with you.
Well, it's sure. I mean, I think we all have everyone has stress. Everybody at every level has stress. So I think there's no difference in terms of your level as to whether you feel stress or not. I think there's different levels of pressure and people manage them differently. For me, I always just feel like I'm the same person at work as I am at home, as I am anywhere. And I try really hard to remember how it feels to be the other person on the end of whatever you're doing. So whether it's a conversation, whether it's an email, I know how I feel when someone sends me something that's snarky or terse or, just doesn't feel good. And I don't want to do that to people. So it just is, I think for me, I'm sure I've done it at some point. There's probably somebody out there that's like, I've gotten one, but I try super hard not to. It's just not a natural reaction for me. Like, I don't think of things that way. I try to kind of manage my stress or pressure other ways. So for me, it's exercise. It's, just decompressing like crazy on the weekends and just getting sort of your head set. And then you can go into kind of anything, I think. So I don't know. That's sort of the way I think about it. I try to treat everybody the same in the same way I'd want to be treated, if I was calling somebody else.
I'll keep looking for that person who has. I'll let you know.
I hope you don't find it. That's what
You grew up playing, was it lacrosse? Definitely a sport.
Yeah, field hockey and lacrosse. Yeah.
Field hockey and lacrosse. Yeah. I feel like a lot of what you post on LinkedIn or Twitter, a lot of your inspiration seems to come from athletes or teams. I'm keen to know how your passion for sport informs both your daily life, but also how you go about doing business.
Yeah, it's I don't know what it is about it. There's something I love about certainly competition. So, I'm a competitive person for sure. There's something about winning with a team that feels deeply different to me. That's so inspiring. Like when you have a chance to work with people, there's something about everybody, playing their position. Like, what's your role? And that's in work and that's in sports. And, when the team is all kind of on the field playing their position, it's incredible what you can accomplish. And to me, it's this cool maze of sort of figuring out, who belongs where and how do you make sure you get the most out of that team, whether again, that's on a field or that's at work. And it's always been something that's been super motivational for me. Like, I just love the idea of success together. It seems so much more meaningful to me. And I don't know why. I've always been that way. I've always loved team sports. I was never kind of an individual sport. Not that they're not amazing. I think actually they're more amazing because I think it takes an incredible skill set to sort of stay so focused and energized when you're in an individual sport. When you have a team, you have people that are around you that sort of pick you up. And, and it's not always perfect. We all know that. But it's just this opportunity to bring something together, that is much more powerful than the single one.
Did you have like an amazing coach when you were playing sport? Or
yeah, I think I've had both amazing coaches and not amazing coaches. So I think it's both. I think I've a woman, her name is Nancy Rossoff, was my coach in high school. I think she had so much to do with giving me confidence and being supportive and really letting me see what was possible and pushing me. And that was, at that time in your life, like, I just think that's incredibly powerful. When you're in that sort of teen years, when you're trying to figure stuff out and you have somebody who's really supportive and helpful and really giving you a kind of a shove, I think is exactly what I needed anyway. So I think part of it was recognizing that when you work with leaders who understand or coaches who understand you as a person, not everybody's the same on a team. Not everybody's motivated the same way, and that's life, right? So I think that's a part of it, and I think I am super inspired by seeing people with raw talent, whatever the talent, whatever it is, and being a part of helping them grow. Like, I just think it's the coolest thing. Like, I think about people I've worked with throughout my career and watching them get better and better and watching them, accomplish all sorts of things. And I get notes from people from years ago that would say, I still remember this that you said to me. And like that, what's better than that? I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything better than that, than having someone say that you had an impact on their life. Man, that's why we do this stuff.
This is a good total side topic, but I'm reading this book by Indra Nooyi, the CEO of Pepsi, chair of Pepsi for a long time. And she was saying how she noticed that when you go to school, you get a report card and you're really proud to share that report card with your parents. But as you get older, like that feeling of the report card and your sense of pride, it kind of goes away. Like you never get that. But she gave that. She wrote handwritten letters to the parents of her leadership team about the amazing contribution that individual was making and everything. And all these parents were framing it, giving it out copies in the lobby and everything.
That's what my mom would be doing. My mom is my by far biggest cheerleader. So she would be making copies of that thing and mailing to everybody she knows.
How much of your career has been informed by luck versus just showing up and doing a good job? I've heard you reference a number of times that you focus not on climbing the ladder, but you just want to do a good job in your role, know your role, perform in it. But then luck comes in from the sides. And I want to know, like, were there moments that were especially fortuitous that maybe changed the course of that and accelerated the good work that you were focused on doing?
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're absolutely right. I think for me, it's about feeling good about what you put in. And that's like the work that you do every day and focusing on improving and focusing on doing a good job. Like, I really do believe that it's a relationship with whoever you work for and with. It's, what are you contributing to make sure that you're bettering the environment for the company or the people that you work with. So that's sort of always kind of been my first thing. Luck, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's timing matters a lot. Like, a very specific example. When I was at Standard Register, I was there for a long, long time. And then I went to SAP. I went to SAP because I was actually speaking on a panel with the president of SAP. So I was still at Standard Register. His name is Bob Courteau. We happened to be on a panel together. We talked afterwards and he's like, hey, I think you'd be a great addition to SAP. I don't think I would have ever gotten a job at SAP if it weren't for him, because he saw my potential. And at that point, SAP had a very specific sort of, roadmap of who the right SAP people were, and I wouldn't have fit that roadmap. So I think that's a perfect example of luck, timing, the opportunity, but then I would say the reason you're at that place is because of something that you've accomplished to get you to a place that gave you that exposure, if that makes sense. So I think, it's a combination of both. But if that day hadn't been there and he hadn't been on that panel, not sure. I'm not sure where I would have gone next. So yeah, I think everything plays a factor.
I always give a fast five to my subjects. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What's something that you've tried once but would never try again?
Oh, I ran a marathon once. I'll never do it again. I hated it. I mean, it was like one of those one and dones. I'm fascinated by people who can do that for like it's nothing. Yeah, never doing it again.
How do you feel about being the center of attention?
Oh, I don't know that I'm the center of attention. I think that look, you have to watch your words, right? So I think there's a responsibility, and I think that part of it I feel, and I appreciate and I respect. So I think that it's sometimes you worry, because your words can get construed in a way that wasn't exactly what you intended. So I think you become a lot more thoughtful, and that's something I never would have. I'm pretty, as you probably can tell, I'm pretty free flowing and hopefully just come across as I am who I am. So sometimes I have to sort of take a pause and make sure that I'm careful, because I do know that people, regardless of me, just because of the job I have, people are going to pay attention. So I just need to be a little more careful. So that's sort of how I think about it. It's an opportunity too. It's an opportunity to impact a lot of people in a good way. So I also think about it that way.
The strangest thing you've ever seen in someone else's home?
Oh, wow.
I say to the woman with the dog cushion in the background.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. That's a great question.
What does chilling out look like to you?
It is exercise for sure. I mean, it's that actually helps me lead into chilling out. So I think I love kind of getting it out first, and then I can binge watch. My husband and I can binge watch like nobody's business. So that is a super great chilling out for us. We really just like to kind of turn off the brain and just hang out.
Is there anyone who you'd like to say thank you to who has helped you in your career?
The list is too long, because you'll forget somebody and then I'll feel bad. So I'll say my family. I mean, my family's super supportive. My husband's amazing. My mom, my sister, my brother, my husband's family. I mean, I could go on for days. So I'll stick with the general category of family. I would say a huge thank you to all of them. The list of everybody else who've helped me along the way is very, very long, but I'm grateful. I'm hugely grateful for the amount of people in my life that have been so helpful and supportive and kind and thoughtful and just cheerleaders, a lot of cheerleaders along the way too, which has been pretty cool.
Another sport analogy to close the interview. How apt. Thank you so much, Deb. I've loved having you a part of Humans of LinkedIn today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.